Welcome back to Laura Rose step-by-step of growing an indoor avocado tree. You are now in part 3. And this is all about two things. One, how to transplant this avocado seedling on its own pot. The second part of this part 3 is all about how to prune your avocado plant. Okay, here we go. Before you start transplanting your avocado seedling, you have to prepare all the tools and materials you need. First thing is you need your mixing bowl and your shovel and your potting mix. Allow me to show you my formula of my potting mix. Okay, first is get a pot soil, any brand. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can get the cheapest pot soil in any store. Second is you need a perlite. This is a volcanic glass. This expands when heated, porous substance for a drainage. This is good for drainage. And then you have a peat moss. This is a bog moss or sphagnum. This absorbs and retains water. It controls aeration, prevent decomposition. I prefer a coconut fibers are better. However, it is not available from my store because a coconut fiber provides nutrients to the soil, and the rest are you need coffee filter and a shovel. I tried the 50-50 mix of soil and perlite, and this caused me to water the plant every day. So my suggestion, and this is from my experience, the best mix that works well is the 60-20-20 mix. In other words, you use 60% of a regular pot soil, 20% of perlite, and 20% of peat moss. This mixed formula requires only a spray of a bottle, and you only need to spray a plant twice a week. In other words, you use 1 part perlite, 1 part peat moss, and 3 parts of pot soil. Okay, let's get to work. Let's start transplanting this avocado seedling to its own pot. I already have the mix in here. The soil is 3 parts, and the perlite is 1 part. And all I have to do is put 1 part of peat moss. This is half. Another half. Alrighty. This avocado needs a moist soil. They don't want wet soil. They want moist soil. Here you go. Look at all those roots underneath. This avocado tree needs moist soil. The roots decay fast when the soil is wet. This avocado needs a warm temperature and needs some sunlight for at least 3 to 4 hours per day. Transplanting an avocado seedling is very stressful time. It takes time for the roots to settle again. They all require an intensive care because they're going to a new home, and everything is new to them. They used to be together, now they will be separated. So it requires just moist. Do not wet the soil, but moist it. I usually use a spray bottle and spray it. And then you have to figure out how much water it will go down to the bottom of the roots or to the bottom of the pots. So from my experience, I use around 10 sprays per day. And then later on, I use 20 sprays per day until I get into the point that I use 50 sprays once a week. Let me share with you on how I prune my avocado tree. Since you are cutting the flesh of your plant, you want the tools free from bacteria, pest, or toxin. It's really important to disinfect your tools at least for 30 minutes. Okay, now why do we prune our indoor avocado plant? Number one, to encourage more leaves. Leaves produces energy through photosynthesis. Leaves absorbs more light and grow faster. We prune our avocado plant to develop a thicker trunk to make it sturdier. We don't want to grow a very tall tree and difficult to reach for fruit. We prune our avocado to encourage growth. Prune our avocado plant to develop more branches. Okay, let me just wash and sanitize this. Just put some alcohol, put an alcohol there, and then I find it difficult to cut this plant. This plant has been with me for almost a year. However, I know it is for its own good. Hand starts to shake. I feel like crying. However, I have to be strong for the good of the plant in here. Actually, there are some gardeners. They cut the trunk from the base going up at least 6 inches. They cut it into 6 inches. And then when it grows to 12 inches, they cut the tip. Actually, there's no rule. Depends upon you, the season, the timing. Okay, here we go. There are a lot of nuts in here. Okay. Prune the plant when it reaches 20 to 30 centimeters. Right now, this is 25 centimeters. So I need to cut this down to at least 15 centimeters, or that is 60 inches, I think. After you cut this, give it a chance to grow back again to 30 centimeters. So in other words, you cut this once it reaches 20 to 30 centimeters, you cut it down to 15 and then let it grow back again to 30 centimeters and you start pruning the tip. So here we go. That's one. I don't want to cut the whole thing. I don't want to hurt this plant so much. This is the last one. Cut it just above the nut. This is all for now. I will give you an update of my avocado plant soon. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe button. Bye now.